Good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026, and in this afternoon or maybe evening's video, depending on when you're watching this, we're going to be going over all the latest and greatest for our upcoming winter storm, what could be a winter storm, as well as our pattern, and we'll kind of discuss some severe potential stuff as we're starting to enter March very soon here, and we'll start to see an uptick in severe potential as all signs point to it. So we're going to get into it right now. I'll have timestamps up throughout this video, so please utilize those. Just feel free to skip around, watch whatever you need to watch. So like this video if you like it, subscribe if you've not done so already, and please leave a comment down below where you're watching from. I would greatly appreciate it. So instead of starting off with the radar, I'm going to start off with warnings here because I'm recording this about 3:30 in the afternoon, and I'm going to schedule it for later because I'm going to be at church. So I'm not going to go over that kind of current conditions because that's not helpful. But this is what we got going on right now for watches, warnings, and advisories. I don't expect these to change a whole lot. We do have wind-related things in these tan colors, so wind advisories, high wind warnings, high wind watches, all that good stuff. These pink right here are red flag warnings. These kind of darker pink up here are winter storm warnings, kind of lining the higher elevations. These red flag warnings just are for fire weather. And then moving east, very, very quiet, especially in comparison. Few winter weather advisories up and still in areas of New York and just south of Rutland, Vermont. So other than that, pretty quiet right now. I do want to mention this was recently issued. We do have a level 1 out of 5 risk today for severe weather, a marginal risk in areas of Nebraska, Kansas, and a far northeast county in Colorado. So not anything crazy. There's a storm rolling through this area right now, but it really doesn't look organized at all. Don't expect it to get organized. Just not quite warm enough and unstable enough to really get these storms going. As we go into tomorrow, this transitions to the south. I do think it's possible that we have some sort of marginal risk in here, especially kind of back over and kind of in this area. I'm not calling that. I wouldn't be surprised if they did though. And so that's for tomorrow, and this is for day 3. Just drops south a little bit more. So we're going to start off hot here. We're going to start off with the actual winter storm here. I didn't cover this with a lot of strong wording in yesterday's video because I don't want to do that. I kind of learned my lesson with the ice storm and going too overboard too early with a storm system. If this trends to be bad, I'll tell you how it is. But as of right now, there's a lot of unknowns, so I'm going to treat it just like that. So this is what we got. This is the latest Euro that this website has. We'll go over the 12Z Euro later. I don't think they change a whole lot from the 6 to 12Z. So here we go. This is starting off early in the morning on March 1st to start our March off. And this is what we got as we roll forward. This is not huge on this run. I know it's not. You might be thinking, why are you showing me this? I mean, this is getting early into the morning, early morning hours on the 2nd, March 2nd. We have snow in areas of Indiana, Illinois, but there's no big organized area. Well, you'll see some of our other models show it, but it kind of falls apart a bit, and then there's a secondary surge of moisture up to the north and into some colder air. So in areas of pink that you see here, like this right here, that is freezing rain. Now this run does not go any farther than this. I can show you the run before, and though it didn't show anything, the Euro has been a little bit all over the place. Now the run previous, the 0Z run of the Euro did show something. I buy this scenario. I really do. We get snow going in areas of Iowa, Missouri. Some sort of sleet or freezing rain corridor develops, and then it kind of goes out to sea, and then we get some other area of winter weather to develop that moves up into the northeast. So the Europeans being a little bit annoying and not giving us any consistency. So let's show you the GFS. The GFS absolutely nailed our last system. That doesn't mean it's better than other models. It really doesn't. Trust me, it doesn't. But that being said, it gained back some of my respect. I'll put it that way. This is starting off the morning of March 1st. We get an area of snow to develop in areas of Missouri and Kansas, Nebraska, all the way over near to Indianapolis. Starts to spread out, and we get this freezing rain corridor to develop to the south of it. Sleet in the purple, pink is freezing rain here. I'll take a little bit more zoomed in of a look here. So it's just more. It's a little bit more beefed up, and I buy this scenario. I really do. And so as we get into the early morning of the 2nd, so it's been about 24 hours since it started at this point. Here we go here, and it kind of drifts due east, gets snow into areas of Virginia, points just a little bit north, maybe even into Pennsylvania. Then it goes out to sea, and then we kind of have another area of moisture start to come together. This is a little bit later than some of our other models, but this is on the 4th. And we have this area of very heavy snow seemingly developing in areas of the northeast with rain to the south. So amplified here on the GFS and so warm that areas of southern New Jersey, Delaware don't even get snow. So then it moves out. Now, I'm not going to show you anything else on this website. We'll go to another website to show you the longer range stuff. But there's that. Now, I also want to show you the European AI. It's starting off the same time as the other two, the kind of early morning hours of March 1st. And this is what we have to work with. I got to click on it here. So we move this on. Well, it kind of develops it. It's an area of moisture. It's got snow to the north, a very small corridor of it, I should add. It really gets it going. Charleston, West Virginia, point south. So areas of Kentucky, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia. I mean, northern counties in North Carolina could pick up snow from this if it happens like this. I don't necessarily buy this because none of our other models show it, number one, but I don't have anything showing me that our storm track is going to be suppressed so far to the south. I do think, if anything, our main corridor of the most precipitation will be up here somewhere. I know it's a wide corridor, but still, most of our other guidance shows it more like that. So you'd pick up several inches of snow in Virginia, North Carolina if it happens like this and it moves on out. Now again, there's that secondary surge of moisture here. It gets a surface low going off the coast of the Northeast. Is it going to be a blizzard? Probably not, especially not like the one we just saw. But hey, there's a surface low there. It develops some snow and it moves on out. So here is the GFS model, and this is freezing rain accumulation. So this is a pretty responsible way to look at it. Now, I need to be careful about overhyping this map right here and going too in depth with it. But areas where you have over a tenth or two, you start to get into territory where you could have more power outages and it becomes more difficult to travel and tree branches start to fall more. So this is the corridor of it. You can see from kind of eastern Kansas through southern Missouri here along the Ohio River and kind of dips to the south a little bit and even gets freezing rain going in central areas of North Carolina here. And this was the GFS run that I just showed you a second ago. This was the results of it. So, I mean, it drops significant amounts in some areas, over half an inch in some areas, which is definitely more than enough to be dangerous. 5/6 in some areas. So, is this me saying this is exactly what's going to happen? Absolutely not. Please don't take it that way. But we do absolutely have a somewhat dangerous look for freezing rain here. Now, I'm going to try, if I can. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it this way. I'll just add a different one. I have to find it here. I want to show you guys the sleet for this. Let's see here. I don't even know if it has sleet. Ice pellets, yeah. Total sleet. So once it loads in, yeah. So there's a lot of sleet to be had with an event like this if it happens. This is kind of a similar setup to the ice storm we had earlier this year. It's not about to be that ice storm, at least as of right now, it's not. But it will have a corridor of each, kind of, snow to the north, sleet, freezing rain to the south, and normal rain even further south. So the GFS throws several inches maybe of sleet in areas like Missouri, Kansas City, over to Topeka, Kansas, Jefferson City, Missouri, even over St. Louis. There's some. So don't go crazy with a map like this, but there is a signal that this is not just a clean snow event. I'll just put it that way. So snowfall wise, we're starting this off. I'm gonna go back a few frames. So this is starting off the kind of early afternoon on March the 1st. And this is the European ensemble, and this is 24-hour increments of snow. So you're going to kind of see the signal come in and then leave. It gives us a timeline, and it kind of can show us the individual areas where this is a little bit more. So let's see, get everything framed here. So this is, European ensemble starting off the afternoon of the 1st. You see this area of snow start to develop in the areas like Iowa, Missouri, Illinois here. It spreads out. So there is a 1 to 1.5, maybe 2-inch average at most. Based on the Euro ensemble, it starts to increase, and then you can see how it kind of shifts up to the north where we have over 3 inches of snow on average developing in areas in the northeast. It's a quick hitting event. You can see it kind of dive in here and then dive back out and go up to the northeast and leave. So there is definitely a signal. Now I'll switch this to the total so you can see it here. Now this is exactly why I didn't show you this, because this involves several events. But across these areas, 1.5, 2 inches, and you get up into the northeast and widespread 2.5, maybe 3 inches could fall. So there's that. Now, how about the European AI ensemble? I don't have a more zoomed in look than this, but this is the corridor of it right here. Shows it pretty well, I think. Areas where it turns to blue are 3 inches or more, so it reserves that more for the northeast. But 1.5, 2 inches fall in areas of Missouri, central Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, just north of the Ohio River. So that's the um, European AI Ensemble's idea of this. So how about some operational runs? This is what the eye candy. This is what you're going to see posted on social media. This is what gets people's attention. This is the GFS run. This is the results of the model run I showed you earlier. And yeah, it's a big one. I mean, areas of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, just south of the Ohio River, and Kentucky here. Higher elevations of West Virginia, especially getting over a foot, foot and a half maybe of snow. I mean, it's a lot. It really is. But please don't take this as gospel and assume it's going to happen like this. It likely won't. I think that these snowfall totals are not outrageous, but they're also not likely by any means. I need to pull this out a few more frames here. So this is the total for the event. So you kind of see there's two separate areas. Storms rarely go like this. So there's two separate areas. You have a corridor right here, and you kind of have that second wave of moisture that does this part. So obviously you can see where those circles overlap. You got the most of it because it kind of gets hit twice, and that's the GFS has kind of consistently shown this. Let me go back 2 runs. It was even more so. So we've had a number one, we've had a tick south from 2 runs ago. We've had a tick south and a tick down. So there's that run. And here's this one: tick south and a tick smaller with the totals. How about 24 hours ago? What did the model show? Well, pretty similar thing. So the GFS has been consistently showing something like this, but it's been taking south with the last couple runs. So that's interesting. I have to note, because it's very important, that these events, like this one, typically trend north over the in the like day or so leading up to the event. You'll see model guidance start to throw these north. With the last ice storm that we got this year, it trended like 250 miles north. It wasn't really a trend. It was more like it more just like ran away from areas of the south and went way up north. So you watch for those. And this corridor of snow could be well displaced from where it is on this run. Just keep that in mind. Here's the Europeans' idea. I mean, the flip flop here. This is the 6Z, so this is the results of the run I showed you. And I mean, it doesn't do much. There's not a significantly organized area. However, run before it did this. Much more notable, solid, clean signal here. You can see the corridor of it. So there's that run. How about run before that? So it was there. So this last run is kind of the outlier almost. That still gives some to the northeast. It's just interesting. And now here's the European AI, the AI European model's idea at snowfall. I mean, it's nothing close. There's a little bit dusting amounts, trace amounts in some of these areas that we were talking about a second ago, but it likes Virginia, West Virginia, and far northern North Carolina for this, and that's it. It does. I'll pull this out a couple more frames. Yeah, so this is what it did. It does kind of get going again for the northeast and drop several inches, maybe a half a foot or so of snow in the northeast, some areas. This is just a way different look. I really don't buy this, not yet. If other models bite onto it, maybe I will believe it. I believe again our storm track will kind of be more like this, if anything else. And if you're outside that circle and you want snow, don't freak out. That's my general idea of it there. So now we're going to start off. We're going to kind of take a breath, and we're going to start this. This is the European. This is the latest run, the 12Z. We're going to start this off tomorrow morning. So a little bit earlier, just kind of go through the whole run with you guys. The European and GFS both show the idea there'll be some snow with this wave of moisture that we get. Not a lot, but some snow in areas along the Ohio River. Maybe areas of the Mid-Atlantic, far southern New England areas. Possibly. Not a lot. And so that wave moves out. And then we have a system roll through first. This is early afternoon on March 1st. It kind of has a wave of energy that rolls up. Now, this is a little bit different. It's a little bit later, but this is getting into March 2nd. And then we have snow develop. It's a little bit better of a snow look here on the latest run. This is the morning hours, probably like 7 a.m. or so. This coming Monday, March the 2nd. We have a more defined area of snow. It's got some sleet mixed in with it. It kind of falls apart and then gets another push of moisture going, but not really for the Northeast. It's kind of a miss. It's got northern stream energy, southern stream energy. The dots don't connect. So that's why we watch this. There's a nasty corridor of freezing rain there in Virginia, West Virginia. If it happens like this, not a forecast. But hey, a little bit more. The run before showed just less in general. So on the latest run here, we have a defined area of snow. Is it a lot? No, but there is something there, and it rolls out. So after that, we start to look for more. We have this kind of big overrunning event. The pattern will support this. Not a forecast though. And then we have stuff like this show up where we have this ridiculous looking line of storms down here. This is like March the 8th. I don't have any specific time frames I'm watching for severe weather. Pretty much anywhere after the first couple days of March, we need to start watching. We'll just see an uptick in it. The pattern will kind of flip around from the way it's doing right now, and it'll bring some of that warm, moist Gulf air up from the south, and you'll have overlapping ingredients. We'll go over that here in a minute as well. So something to watch. Not a forecast though. That moves out. See anything else? More severe threats possibly. Right at the end of the run, there's some snow developing back here in areas of the northern high plains. Nothing specific though. So there were several shots in this model run of some cooler air and snow way up to the north. And it was really just, I take a run like this, and all I see is severe weather as a primary threat. So what about the GFS model? Well, it's more aggressive with this snow starting off. This is starting off tomorrow morning, 24 hours from now. We got areas of heavy snow just south of the Ohio River in Kentucky. I don't really buy this as much. I think the GFS is doing a little bit too much with this, but hey, maybe it's right. Could be right. Just a more defined area of snow makes its way from the northeast. Very quick hitting though. I mean, at your house, it could only snow for like an hour or two, and not all that heavy. Not a forecast though. And then we get into the March 1st time frame. We kind of have a wave of moisture in the Midwest and Northeast, not a whole lot. And then you see the big thing happen. We already kind of went over this. I'll just show you the bigger picture here. And yeah, I mean, you can see it. It just rolls to the east. It's much more defined. Areas of very heavy snow mixed in. There's some freezing rain. It kind of drops to the south. And then, I mean, I want you guys to notice, it's a GFS run. There's even freezing rain that develops down here in northern Georgia, upstate South Carolina, kind of because there's some cold air lingering. So that could be enough to put coating on the power lines if it happens. And then you see another kind of wave of it hit the 4th, March the 4th, and we get a heavy area of snow, but it starts raining in areas of the down east areas of Maine, New England, because it's so warm. I think that we got two waves here. We got this first one, it'll be cold enough for winter weather. This second one, it's kind of in a transition zone where we do have cold air, but it's leaving. It's kind of transitioning back to the north. So there's more of a chance that we have mixing issues or it just switches back to good old rain. This is the 5th, the 6th, big overrunning event, Northeast special, Canada special, that is. Another one. Now, I mean, here's agreement. Here's March the 8th and the 9th, and we got this area of severe weather in a pretty similar location. So there's some agreement there. That'd be like a flooding threat along the Mississippi River if it happened, just prolonged rain, not a forecast. And then we have a run like this. This is right out near the end of the run, Friday, March the 13th, and we got this area of just a really amplified look. We got it kind of inverts the shape of our storm systems. Typically, the line between rain and snow is like this. On here, it's like this. So different looks, but I think our pattern does flip, and our models are having a struggle with figuring out the exact placement of these storm systems. But I think that the pattern will support stuff like this. So you got cold air residing to the north, and you got moisture to the south, and if they intersect at just the right time and in just the right way, you know, stuff like this happen. Right at the end of the run, 16 days away from now or so, and we got areas of snow back here in the Central Plains. It's possible. So a quick look out west here. You guys is like snow season isn't over per se, but it really is starting to slow down. Your active period of weather has kind of come to an end. Areas of snow, mainly higher elevation base though. Here's the GFS. And I mean, there's definitely areas of snow in this, but nothing specific. March 7th, 8th, 9th, there's more snow, maybe even valley snow. It's possible. There's nothing specific showing up that's really catching my eye here. So there's out west. Now here's kind of a brief discussion of our severe potential and why I think we're going to have more severe potential as we make our way through into March, I should say. This is starting off March 1st, and we get going here. What you're looking at is the 500 millibar height map. So this is just troughing or ridging the atmosphere. This is the jet stream aloft. So right here, you kind of have a ridge where the flow kind of goes over the top of it and then rides off to the east. And then this right here, you can see by these black lines, and there's a little circle in the middle. There's some sort of low pressure, and there's kind of flow down here to the south of it. That's called a jet streak. And you really look for these. This is what can get severe weather going in areas if there's moisture underneath this. This is just several miles above your head, 3 or 4 miles above your head. This is the wind speed in that layer. I did neglect to mention that, but um, and we move past that, and that little jet streak kind of transitions off to the north. It could bring severe weather with it. This is a big chungus of a low pressure. I mean, this has it's a much more robust, compact looking one, negatively tilted. This is like March the 8th. This is what got that big sprawled out area of line of storms going, and it could be. Wouldn't surprise me if that happens. And that moves off. After that, is there anything else? Not really. There's several jet streaks. There's just a lot of flow in the kind of central and southern areas of the country, mainly relegated to the north with these little smaller um, shortwave troughs digging down. That's what gets severe weather going. So let's look at moisture here. This is the dew points. This time of year, as a threshold for you guys to kind of just keep in mind, mid 50s and higher for dew points are typically enough. As you get further into spring and towards summer, you really need those closer to 70, but still, you really look for these dark greens and blues on this map here. This is starting off to start the month. So you really look for these kind of surges of this moisture to the north. The third, the fourth. So like for that the system on the fourth, where you kind of have that little jet streak, there's moisture there. So it could be a severe threat. Let's work our way out towards the seventh and the eighth. Yeah, I mean that's a big area of moisture surging all the way up into Iowa here. 60s dew points into Iowa. This time of year is not necessarily common. You got a lot of flow overriding this here, so yeah, you can see it kind of sweeps it off. And I mean, there's just areas of the deep south that really just stay moist. A lot of higher dew points. Right at the end of the run, we got a surface low pressure developing, and who knows what's going to go on in here. I really point this out just to show you that we'll have more shots of it. I'm not going to show you this map today. I showed it to you yesterday. I'll show it to you again maybe tomorrow. Nothing specific shows up on this. So here is our AI guidance. I'm going to show you this a little bit more in depth here, just a bigger picture. But this is starting off tomorrow. Areas you see in tan could actually be snow. Areas in blue are snow. This website, it's a great website. It does a good job. These AI models don't actually output precipitation types. This website is doing its best to assume and giving it to us in a consumable way here, but that could be snow. So again, the European AI, it could be some snow mixed in with this first system. That's tomorrow. Then March the 1st, area of snow goes up into the northeast, and getting into between the first and the second, we have something. European AI doesn't really like it. It's kind of similar to the operational Euro we just looked at. Again, this tan could be more blue in reality, but it's just not a whole lot to speak of. But this is what we're talking about. Again, think about this tan as blue. There's that it kind of gets that going more in areas of the kind of mid-Atlantic and upper deep south. So interesting. It really is. And the model goes out further than this, but it gets kind of messy. So I'll just show you that part. Now, how about the GFS AI? It shows more snow. Not a lot of it. In fact, very little of it. It's kind of similar to the GFS or the European model from this morning, not showing a whole lot. And then we get towards the first area of snow in the northeast, quick hitting. Then, I mean, the GFS AI really does bite onto this, and it kind of mirrors its deterministic operational companion with an area of heavy snow, sleet to the south, rain even further south than that. It moves up and it goes out, and then there's a secondary surge up into the northeast. So, I mean, the GFS AI does show something. The European AI doesn't. So there's that. I'm not going to go out much further than this again because they kind of get messy at the end. We're really not sure, as people like me who look at these models, I'm really not sure about their usefulness in the long range, but the mid and shorter range, they could be pretty good, as they've proven themselves to be so far. So, at this point in the video, we're going to kind of discuss the pattern a little bit and try to explain what's going on, what's driving all of this weather. So if you're not interested in hearing about this, the last segment of the video, so feel free to be on your merry way. But for those of you who do want to see it, we're going to get into it here. Areas of blue on this map are cooler air, that's a trough, and areas in red are warmer air, and that's a ridge. So this is the afternoon of the 1st, so let's just take this right about here. Afternoon of the 1st, getting into the 2nd here. You got this big, expansive, relatively strong trough up in areas of Canada and the northern US. That is a cold air source. So just think about it, cold air source. You got all this down here is warm. So it's not only warm, but it's also moist. It has moisture in it. So you would look in these areas for some sort of interaction to happen. This does not tell the whole story for temperatures. We'll look at surface temperatures here in a minute. I did forget to mention, this is also 500 millibars, so this is several miles above our heads. But what this really supports, this pattern right here, is you got this cold air source up here. It supports this air dropping south and kind of just passing the northern areas of the U.S. Just a glancing blow from it, and that can be enough if the dots line up to get some snow going, freezing rain going, all that good stuff. So we move out past that here, and is there anything specific? Not a whole lot. How about the 6th, 7th, 8th? So this is interesting to me. This would give me increased confidence. This is like the morning of March the 8th when we were looking at that severe weather. See how this ridge, it kind of spikes on either side, but we have a break in this area. That could mean that we have some sort of upper air, low pressure that kind of rolls through the area, brings up some warm, moist Gulf air from the south. So even our ensemble guidance kind of supports the idea for a severe threat on March the 8th. So we'll have to watch that closely. But moving out past that, this is the end of the run. So we still kind of have this opening, if you will, in the ridge right in this area. This doesn't tell the whole story, but if you got cold air relegated up here, it would kind of support it spilling down. So an interesting pattern. So what about temperatures at the surface? This is starting off to start the month. Very tight temperature gradient here. Areas in blue like this, that is below average temperatures. That's not measured temperatures, but just below average. This is areas of red like this are above. So this is when this event could be starting. I mean, this area right here, that's a really tight, narrow temperature gradient there. But and we move our way on, and yeah, it's a tight temperature gradient. That's why we have kind of freezing rain. We have corridors of each of the precipitation types. That's why, because this temperature gradient is so intense. So if you do have rain that manages to cross this border, it could become freezing rain. If you have snow that kind of crosses this border, it could become freezing rain, normal rain, sleet. That's why we have these corridors here. Moving past that, you see a lot of red. I do think that the predominant pattern here will be warmer than average through about the mid-month time frame. This takes us through the 12th. So this also supports our upper air. Remember, right at the end of the run, there's kind of a big opening in the central and western areas of the U.S. aloft, and this brings down some slightly cooler than average air. But I do think the predominant pattern will be warmer. However, there are some things indicating, I'm not going to go into it much because I don't understand it enough to really go into it, but there are some signs showing that we're going to have a big pattern change from the mid-month onward. So something to watch there. I'll keep you guys informed if that actually happens, if we see more of that, but not anything too specific to really get into right now. This is the total moisture. So I'm showing you this map to show you where the most activity will be. We define activity and weather. If you think about it being an active weather day, it's typically by rain, storms, or snow. In some form or another, it's precipitation. You don't call a sunny day an active weather day. So areas you see in purple, don't worry about the actual measurement of these. It doesn't matter. Just look at the colors here. You can see there's a defined area here in the eastern, southeastern areas of the U.S. that have the most moisture. So this is the European ensemble. This is more smoothed out or operational runs might show more or less than this. However, I'm really showing you this just to show you the corridor of the most activity. So right in there, you could have severe weather, and that could be your predominant type. You could have freezing rain, you could have snow. This accounts for everything. But this is a consistently growing signal, even all the way up into the northeast here, for just more moisture. And that means that we're going to have more chances at severe weather. We're going to have more chances at winter weather as time goes on. So I had this tab kind of asleep because I wasn't planning on showing it to you. So let's just move on one more. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. You'll be seeing this probably about 6 o'clock or so. It's now 4:02 p.m. Eastern time as of when I'm doing this. So I'll see you guys in a few hours. But thank you guys for watching. Tune in tomorrow morning. I'll have you guys a weather update for the day. And we'll also go into all of this tomorrow evening. So stay tuned for that. All that being said, God bless. Thank you for watching.